McCarthy also spoke with reporters on Capitol Hill about the shooting, and he said there needs to be a conversation on mental health, and that he doesn't think a piece of legislation would solve this. I think the nation working together to solve problems that are much bigger than us. Does the White House have a response?
Wait, say that last part? Say that last part?
Nation working together solves a problem that is much bigger than us.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, we agree that working together, Congress and Republicans and Democrats working together to solve a big problem like our kids being killed is important. Look, this is a president you've heard him talk about mental health and how important it is to deal with that issue. This is an administration that's put that front and center.
You sure about that?
In how we see the needs of Americans across the country, especially of what Americans have gone through with the pandemic over the last 3 years. But when it comes to this issue, when it comes to gun violence, it's just silence from the other side. When it comes to banning assault weapons and actually doing the work to deal with getting weapons of war, again, weapons of war off the street, they come up with excuses.
Well, that is one way to say it.
And so we're ready to work with them. The president has always said he's ready to work in a bipartisan way to deal with an issue, again, that's killing our kids. So if he wants to have a good faith conversation on that, we're willing to have it.
Thanks, Karine. I wanted to also ask about some comments that Speaker McCarthy made on Capitol Hill. He was talking about the debt limit talks, and he said he didn't know how much more easier he could make it for the White House. And then he said he would bring lunch to the White House and, quote, would make it soft food, if that's what the president wanted. It's being interpreted as a dig at the president's age. So I wanted to give you a chance to respond, but also just to ask, like, what kind of effect comments like this have on these talks.
Look at it.
You know, I think the president is able to pick out his own Starbucks. What we really need from Speaker McCarthy and House Republicans is to see their budget. Where's the budget? They come up with excuses, and I'm sure you guys saw this morning how it's going around about what the Speaker said in January, how important it is, and I'll quote, "We should have to pass a budget so the country can see the direction we're going."
That's kind of creepy, ain't it?
Remember, the president said, we want to see what they value. We want to see exactly what it is that they want to cut. So let's have that budget discussion. What does the speaker want to discuss? What are the specific cuts? What taxes does he want to raise? It's been 3 weeks. We've had our budget out. The president put out his budget on March 9th. 3 weeks, and we have seen nothing from the House Republicans. Nothing.
So you're saying you want to see, like, hard figures before you would say
It's not just us, it's the American people. We need to see transparency. Where's their budget? What is it that they want to do? How do they see being fiscally responsible? How does that look for them? We have our budget, and not only that, the president put a budget, and it says, the budget shows that how he's going to lower the deficit by $3 trillion over 10 years. And we laid that out for the American people. They keep coming up with excuses.
a quip like this from the speaker make you guys think he's serious about talks, or is he?
That's up to him. He's speaking to the American people here, right? That's something that he has to answer to the American people, if he's serious or not. We are.
You can say that again.
We showed our values by putting out the president's budget. So that's for him to respond to, not for me. Go ahead, George.
This is not a life or death question, but since it's opening day, I have to ask.
Oh my gosh.
This is the third opening day the president has not gone to throw out the first pitch. Will we see him at a game at all this season, or is that one presidential tradition that he's casting aside?
Well, I agree with you. It's not life or death. I don't have anything to preview or announce from here about that particular question. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. On artificial intelligence, 1,000 of the world's smartest people are saying that AI can pose profound risks to society and humanity. They want you guys to regulate it.
Interesting. Seriously?
You're talking about the letter that was released yesterday. So, look, it highlights a number of challenges addressed directly in the administration's blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights, which was released last October, as I'm sure you've been following, Peter. It includes principles and practices AI creators can use to ensure protections related to safety, civil rights, civil liberties, are integrated into AI systems from start to finish. Right now, there's a comprehensive process that is underway to ensure a cohesive federal government approach to AI-related risk and opportunities, including how to ensure that AI innovation and deployment proceeds with appropriate prudence and safety foremost in mind. And so we're going to, I don't have anything to announce at this point, at this time, but there is a comprehensive process in place.
Do you have any idea?
Now, there's an expert from the Machine Intelligence Research Institute who says that if there is not an indefinite pause on AI development, this is a quote, literally everyone on Earth will die. Would you agree that does not sound good?
Your delivery, Peter, is quite something.
It sounds crazy, but is it?
All I can say is that there's a comprehensive process in place. We put out a blueprint back in October, as you know. I don't have anything to share. We have seen the letter. We understand what their concerns are. Again, a comprehensive process. We'll let that flow.
So, is President Biden worried that artificial intelligence could become self-aware?
Look, there's a comprehensive process. We are taking this very seriously. We put our blueprint out back in October. I just don't want to get ahead of our findings and what that's going to look like. But it is a cohesive federal government approach to AI-related risks, as you just laid out in a very dramatic way. But clearly,
Is there anything more dramatic?
That actually was pretty funny.
I mean, you just read it.
Literally everyone on Earth will die.
Pretty dramatic. Pretty dramatic. We're gonna move on. But thank you, Peter. Thank you for the drama.
About Evan, sorry, a little more serious topic. You've said that you're pressing for consular access. I assume that means it hasn't been granted yet, and no one from the U.S. government's been able to be in touch.
So I'm just not going to get into any specifics from here. All I can say, it is our commitment to any American who is someone who has received or not, who have not received wrongfully detention designation. That's what we're going to fight for. That is the thing that we're going to fight for, and make sure that they have a counselor.
Of course, but just the language from here in the State Department has been that you're seeking it, so that the assumption would be that you haven't gotten it.
Well, I'm just going to leave it to what you've heard from me, what you've heard from the State Department. I'm just going to leave it there.
Have you summoned the Russian ambassador in for discussions?
Don't have anything to share on that.
And you were asked this a little bit earlier, but I just want to clarify. The White House is not concerned that the Brittany Griner swap made Americans in Russia a more appealing target for the Kremlin.
Look, we want to be very careful here. We do not want to politicize this. This is not about politics here. As I said earlier, detaining Americans is a Russian tactic that they have used for some time now. And I mentioned this earlier as well to one of your colleagues. Paul Whelan and Trevor Reed were taken under the prior administration. And as you all know, we're working very hard to get Paul home. We are committed to getting Paul home. And our best tool right now is to protect Americans is prevention. That's why we've also been clear about not traveling to Russia and to leave Russia if you are currently an American and you're currently there. Russia is not a safe place for Americans. The State Department just also earlier said if there are Americans in Russia who want to leave, the State Department will assist in them leaving the country. And so that's what we're going to focus on, is prevention. And we should not be politicizing what is currently happening to Evan.
Doesn't exist.